Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome. Tonight we are doing session 5, review and closing. I guess we should also add to the title of this session. Of course, it's all part of the CPD Take Your Life Back Using AI Tools course. And tonight will be the final session, and we have something special for you tonight. We have Avant Tomar from Caseway here to do a demonstration on a couple of the products that Caseway has available to help legal practitioners with your work. One being well, you know what? I'm going to let Avant introduce the products. Welcome, Avant. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Yep, very well, sir. Very good. I'm going to give you the ability here to share your screen.
Hmm.
Just
Sure.
give me a, well, if I can figure out how to do that. Participants. Are you trying to share your screen right now? Oh, sorry, here it is. There you go. Okay, you should be able to do it now.
Yep. 1 second here.
I'll stop my share.
Yep. Is it visible? Oh, sorry. 1 second. Let's see. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can. Hi
Oh,
there, I'm Casey. What would you like to
Yes.
do today?
yeah. So thank you everyone. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show a full legal workflow transformation end to end from legal question to grounded authorities to structured work product and then into form ready outputs. So before the live prompts begin, what I would like to just introduce everyone to what KC is. KC is built for legal research and grounded in primary legal sources. Our corpus includes millions of court decisions across Canada and the US. So what the pipeline is what we do is we scope jurisdiction first, retrieve authorities, produce structured answers tied to cited cases, and then verify the case references with the confidence framing. So it just isn't a random generic chatbot or a web scraping tool. It's basically your legal AI assistant, as you could call it. So I'll start with the demo here. I have some prompts that I'll use for the research today. In plain language, what are the core legal principles for wrongful dismissal where an employee says they were terminated after raising workplace safety concerns? Include 3 relevant courses with coordinator. So let's start by scoping tightly those things. Wait for the response here. Yep. So as you can see, it comes up with the core legal principles that was asked in the prompt: whistleblower retaliation protection and burden of proof causation. And it gives a little bit of a description by every single one of them. And as I asked for 3 relevant cases, what the coordinator provides those here as well, all 3 cases with their court in a year. And you can also view all 9 sources that were used to kind of get to this response. So you can view the case files. If I give original document, this is the actual case file, or you can generate a summary of the document as well.
I'm gonna get you just to slow down slightly for us, Avant,
Mhm.
before I have an epileptic attack. Um, just can you back up for a moment? Just come back to the screen we were looking at here. So what you did, you put in a prompt similar, the way that we would use, say, Chat GPT or Gemini.
Mhm.
The interface very clean. Putting in a prompt, we get the response, and I love what it's done here. Core legal principles have given us 1, 2, 3 with bullet points applicable to each of the core legal principles as an answer to the question that you would propose. And then scroll down a little bit. I want to see these 3 cases. So yeah, so 2 of them came up Ontario, and I'm assuming we could have asked it to specifically just provide Ontario, but it's pulled
Yes.
up cases, and then I see a button
Mhm.
towards the end of the description where it says view case. And that's what you clicked on a moment ago that took us directly into the case law
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah, so it just displays all the cases that was kind of used for this whole response to come up. So it
Right.
referenced all these files and then came up with this response.
Yeah.
Everything is these cases should be. So
And as is always going to be the concern, I'm sure you hear this from everybody. Can you help us understand what Caseway does to enable these case results, the jurisprudence that's being pulled, and the assurance that it has that these are not AI hallucinations, or is that something you're gonna get? Am I jumping the gun here? You're gonna get to that in a moment.
no, so yeah, we could definitely get into it now. So
Okay.
all these cases are stored in our I would say our database, as you could say, well, in our where we store our data. And we've done research on, so these are not just hallucinations. These were, I would say, it's not, obviously it's not legal advice, but what it does is it is legal research. So it kind of reads all these cases and everything is read through. It understands the context, it understands what the questions you ask. That's where the whole AI part kind of comes in, is kind of understanding the context and then referencing the right files, the right cases, what the user asked for, what the prompt was specifying. And then the AI comes again. What it does is it generates a response for you, and the end user, and just sends that right out. So the only thing where we're kind of using AI would be understanding the document, understanding the user's prompt, and then putting those two things together, and then finally drafting the response.
Okay. In session one of our course, I've explained what an LLM is and training models and so forth. The idea that ChatGPT, for example, has been trained on, well, not every, but we can imagine it's, gobbled up information off of the internet, whether it's good information or bad information. It's probably been fed, not real CDs, but the
Yeah.
whole idea of the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Mhm.
And the problem there, of course, it's going to mix and match citations and so forth and create some of these AI hallucinations. Now, with what you've used, what Caseway's used um, as its training model and its data,
Mhm.
and that it's helping keep citations, I guess, contained or some wrapper around the whole citation. So it's not taking a year and then a
Mhm.
court and then a file number. It's keeping it all as a whole and making sure that we don't get mixed match citations. Is that correct?
Yes, that's accurate. That's accurate. And one thing I would also like to stick out from how we stick out from ChatGPT is, again, you could kind of obviously debate that this is kind of the same thing as ChatGPT, but ChatGPT does not have all these relevant cases information. So those are more kind of like as you could, well, not, I wouldn't say hallucinations, but these are more legally researched cases, and that's how our AI works. So that's how we stick out from just a regular chatbot or just ChatGPT.
Yeah. And that I have mentioned how, your tool and other, uh, legally focused tools are definitely going to be, premier compared to ChatGPT or something that's generic rather than
I,
trained specifically.
I have a question there. Is this more focused to the more cited cases, or or is this really scraping all the cases? Because my concern is that once you get a really popular case, that's the only one that's going to come up. But you may have a better argument in a newer case or a more obscure case, depending on the argument, right?
Mhm. Yeah, so this is all just based on the cited cases that we have that us we case as us we have and what we have done research on and the ones that we have in our data. This it's not just so if we were to get a new case in our data, it would obviously be conduct like the AI model would be trained on it and everything. So I think well I know is everything is only for the cited cases. It's not just from any case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because my fear is algorithms, right? The problem
Yeah,
with an
definitely.
algorithm is it puts you into a loop.
Definitely. Yeah, no, this is all from cited cases, and it's not from just any case, um, if that answers your question.
Yvonne, as I understand, your Caseway is trained on what, millions of cases,
Yeah.
both Canada. Yeah,
Canada and the US. So millions of court decisions in cases across Canada and the United States.
right. Okay, excellent. Sorry for the interruption. Continue.
Yeah. I'm going, so regional three. Just searching more. So now we take the same authorities and stress test them kind of from both sides.
Mhm. So
This is
sort of like a strengths and weaknesses analysis from
yeah.
the point of view of the employee as well as the point of view of the employer.
Yes, yes, exactly. So this is where it becomes strategically useful. It's kind of like a rapid two-side framing from the same cases.
Right.
Yep. So as you can see, this is the response. It formats it really nicely according to your prompt. So the employee for it's going to mention every single case that we just asked for, three of the cases, employee arguments, employer arguments.
Yeah, I'm going to hold you up just for one quick moment. Something caught
Yeah.
my attention. The novel tort of retaliation against a whistleblower is in quotes. So those words being wrapped in quotes, are those words going to actually be quoted within that case?
Yes.
Very good. Okay, because one of the things I have found, especially with Chat GPT, is that it'll wrap words in quotes, like a phrase in quotes, and yet it's paraphrasing. It's not truly a direct quote.
No, yeah, these are right from the case.
Yep, terrific. I'm going to be very interested in that one. Novel tort of retaliation against a whistleblower. Cool.
And then this was the case too.
Right.
So it's due to same thing quotes here. This would be in the case as well. And this was our case 3. Same thing. Now, well, what I'll do is we'll move to the verification step. So this is kind of the trust layer, confidence labeling, plus like a clean verification workflow. So what the format that I gave it, case, courtier, key proposition, and confidence. And it just drafted what it was asked to, exact same format. First case, second case, third case, and the confidence level of the AI
Right.
basically. So this is kind of just a format data step. And this is where we come into kind of day one execution. So what it should collect, confirm, and document basically. Yep. So now based on those authorities, it provided a practical intake checklist for counsel handling this fact pattern. So as we asked for 6 bullet point max, it gave us 6 bullet points, and it gave us those very neatly, very nicely, all of the 6 points. Just makes so I drafted this response, document the timeline, identify reports made, gather employment history and performance records. Now for the step, this is what we'll do. We'll draft the lawyer ready research note with headings. So we're kind of just automating all this work using Casey.
Lawyer ready research note with headings. Nice.
Instead of just a blank page, we kind of generate a structured first draft.
Right.
Let's see what it does here. There we go. Yep. So as you can see, it generates the document in a exact the way we wanted with the headings. Headings
Yep.
bolded. And lawyer ready. It's a lawyer ready research note. Issue, principles, everything that we ask for. It generates that in a nicely formatted document. And we can kind of just copy paste this into a doc, and it just makes a lot very time saving. Like that's very because this process would take a lot of time, but then obviously once we've just kind of information into the AI into Casey, it formats it all for us, and everything is kind of very easy it's very easy to understand as well if someone's conducting research, because it just tells you exactly how it is, nothing, and obviously every data is coming from the case itself. So
Can you do me a favor while we're here? Just go back down to where you just were. Scroll down.
this one.
No, scroll down where you just were 2 seconds ago. Before, okay. See where? Okay, right. Don't move your cursor. See just to the left. It says novel tort of retaliation in quotes.
Yeah.
Can you drag across that and copy it onto your clipboard?
Yeah.
So come down and message Casey.
Mhm.
What other cases? What other cases deal with the, and then just paste.
Right.
I'm a bit of a tort guru, and I'm not familiar with this one.
Let's see.
So if this is a new recognized tort in Ontario, I don't know it. And of course, that's the whole point of tort law, is it's always evolving. So this is quite fascinating.
Oh.
I apologize. Okay. All right.
Back down here.
I'm going to look up that Brewer case later on tonight anyway.
Come up with some stuff here.
Oh, wow.
Oops.
Wow, that's interesting. So, it's mentioning cases and saying, although not using the exact same language, I guess it's the same point of law.
Yeah.
That there was retaliation against a whistleblower, and then Singh versus Canada, retaliation complaints, that's fantastic. Wow. Yep.
Yeah, well, sometimes the AI feels so if you resend the message, it just works right away.
Yep.
That's what I thought. But yeah, so that was well, I guess you could say that's Casey for you. That's the whole chatbot. Well, not just the chatbot, it's basically your legal assistant AI.
Right. Yep. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Else. So this covers the Casey part. What we also have this new CaseForm as well. That's part of Caseway. So we could just go over this as well. If that's okay.
Yep, sure.
Yeah. So what this
Do you have
does,
any?
Yep.
Do you have anything that's Ontario based, or doesn't matter if you don't?
Not for now, but we can definitely make a Ontario based as well, because as for now we have this California based. So what this is, it's a automated form filler. Let's say so right now we cover 58 California counties and we have across around 4,500 forms across all those counties. So once I go to the next tab, you understand better here. So yeah, here what we do is we choose the location of what forms that we're going to use. So these are all counties in California. And let's say it shows statewide forms. And what I could do is I could choose the exact form that I want to fill out. Let's say this is the adoption request that I want to fill out from one of the statewide forms. Preview, if you click on the preview form, you can view the whole form here. So
Right.
this is the form that we're going to be filling out. And I click continue. So what we do here, this is kind of the context step. Here, we have integration with MyCase that works. So any lawyer who has access to the MyCase environment, they can access their case documents here or their firm documents here and just kind of choose the context from these, or you can obviously choose your own context if you have any document. So what I'll do is this is a sample test data I have generated from back then. So right now the
Mhm.
form's empty. This one has the name of the person. It has the name of both the parents that they want to adopt and etc. So if we click continue here, generate these forms. So what it does, it reads the context file and it maps it to the form field. So this is for every single local court forms in California. This makes the process automated. You can choose multiple documents for the context, or you just choose one document. So basically everything if you have to fill a form out, you could just come to CaseForm and choose your location, choose the form you want to fill out, put the context in, and it will fill it out for you.
Yeah. I'm gonna have I'm gonna reach out to Al and talk to him about some ideas and opportunities for here in Ontario.
Sure,
Um,
sure, sounds good.
some
Wait.
Ontario specific. As you say, right now, I'm assuming what it's still doing is just extracting the data, filling it in a form. There you go. It's now ready. Download and kaboom.
You download it. Can you guys see my screen still? Or
Yep.
can you guys see the filled form as well?
Yep. We can. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. Wow. Fills in the blanks.
Fills whatever the context had. So if it didn't have these fields, it wouldn't fill it on. But the type of adoption, step parent adoption, information about the child, your name, the gender, everything that was in the context file, it fills the whole thing out according to that. If there's any checkboxes, there's any field filling, anything like that, covers it all. Yeah.
Yeah, this is exactly where I see AI going. It's going to be able to fill in your documents for you. I don't think it'll be very long. Just to give you an example, and I know one that'll be interesting to our viewers. For example, a landlord tenant board, situation where you have a tenant who's late on their rent and the landlord needs to issue what we call here in Ontario an N4, which
Yeah.
is the notice that basically tells the tenant, "Hey, you're late on your rent. This is how much you owe."
Hmm.
And I can see, AI being able to fill in the blanks on those forms, even do some mathematical calculations. So
Yeah.
not just fill in names and addresses, but to actually fill in you know, you paid this much, X, your rent was Y, and therefore this is how much is overdue. It'll be able to fill all that stuff in, maybe not, tomorrow, but I would expect in the next, couple of years, what we're going to see AI capable of doing
Yeah.
is just going to be amazing. Mhm.
Definitely. I think the same. Yeah, it's definitely it's uphill. It's not still slowing down. Yeah, I don't see why that wouldn't happen anytime soon as well. Yeah, for sure.
One of the things that we've been trying to emphasize through this course
Hmm.
is that AI, well, here's the saying:
Hmm.
AI won't replace legal professionals, but it will replace legal professionals that don't use AI.
Yeah, definitely agreed. 100%.
All right.
100%. I would
Uh,
say that's the thing for a lot of occupations as well, whether it's you're in development, software development, same thing there as well.
It is.
My
Great.
issue is if they're using up-to-date documents. I still see, there's like programs out there like PayProp and even ULaw and things, and you go and you look at their forms, and they're all trying to do this, right? Do it, but when you look at the base form, it's an old form, and there are errors in it because there have been changes on the newer forms. So I want to know with this is how up to date are the forms that the AI is filling in, because I see old leases on old formats and all of those things where they're not using the up to date documents.
Yeah, no, well, we keep our case forms updated. I think for the local, I mean, we're in California as of now, so the local forms there, what we've noticed, the trend is the court forms, well, they change, I think, well, maybe like 2 times a year, 3 times a year, but we keep our catalog updated, so make sure it's all up to date with the new forms catalog.
Yeah, I can imagine, there's going to be some sort of an API connect anyway,
Yeah,
at some point on, like, as soon as a jurisdiction changes, a particular form, it's instantaneous that,
yeah,
that
definitely.
form automatically connects with
Connect then, yeah.
whoever's using it.
For sure. For sure, yeah. If there's an update, we do plan for that as well. So if there's like a brand new form, any form updated, something like that, so it obviously automatically updates in our system as well. Instead of
Yeah. I do know what Leah's speaking of, and I think there's a manual process there, like rather than an API. And part of it, is not the software supplier's
Mhm.
fault. You know, I tend to think it's probably the government, being slow to make APIs available for certain forms.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
manually have to go to their website to go, oh shit, the form's changed.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Does anybody else have questions for Avant? No? Okay. Well, Avant, well, thank you very, very much for coming out, demonstrating this.
Yeah,
Apologies that we don't have our full crowd here tonight, but they'll be able to watch by video. And I'll be reaching out to Al to let him know that we very much appreciate you stopping by and giving us this demonstration.
for sure. No worries. Anytime. 100%.
Terrific. Well, I'll take you up on that for sure. We'll be running this course again in April.
For sure, for sure. All right, sounds
All
good.
right.
Sounds like a plan.
Yep. Thanks. If you can give me my screen back.
Yeah, for sure. There we go.
Okay, terrific. Thank you very much, Yvonne.
Mhm.
All right, so Grace and Leah, you're our two participants tonight. So
Mhm.
we're going to certainly be able to give you both extra special attention as we get the presentation rolling. I think we'll get through the material